Hello everyone, welcome to Operating System. This is the first video of our operating system series. So, here, before we begin, let me just ask you a simple question. Now, what actually happens when you press the power button in your laptop or phone or your desktop? ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಮೇಯ್ನಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಅದು ಬಟನ್ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಆರ್ how does your Google Chrome open when you open the browser? You just click a button, but what exactly happens? How exactly does it open? Or how exactly does the YouTube videos play, or the what do you call the Spotify songs play? All those things. Or maybe I can ask one more question, which tells how does a game use your keyboard, processor, or the memory? So, see, all these questions that we have are having one common answer, which is called as operating system. An operating system is simple. I can just tell an operating system is one of the most important softwares inside the computer system. And I can tell it is present almost everywhere, wherever I'm using the main, all this is not exactly only in a computer, but I'm using an operating system in a smartphone, smart TV, gaming consoles, automobile, many devices. Now, ತುಂಬ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಡಿವೈಸಸ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇದೆ. Few examples like few operating system examples. I have Windows, I have Linux, Mac OS, Android, all those things. And let us understand why exactly do we need operating system and what exactly does it do? Operating system ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತು ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? Let's understand it today. So, going forward, first thing what comes to my mind is, what is the need of operating system here? ಯಾಕೆ operating system ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕು? See, simple thing, just let's imagine a world without an operating system. In that case, tell us, suppose you want to open a Google Chrome. How do we do it? Simple. Chrome needs certain access. And what are the access? Access to mouse, or access to keyboard, access to processor, memory, display, internet connection, or the storage device also. ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ we require the basic access. And now, let's think, when a Chrome developer is writing a code or developing a Chrome browser, they have to write the code basically to communicate with each and every hardware each and every hardware component that I told now. Individually, for everything, they have to write the code. ಇವಾಗ ಐ ಸ್ಪೋಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಕೀಬೋರ್ಡ್, ಮೌಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸರ್, ಮೆಮೊರಿ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಈ ಕ್ರೋಮ್ ಡೆವಲಪರ್ ಏನಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೋಡ್ ಬರಿತಾ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದಕ್ಕೂ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಸಿ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. ಇಫ್ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನ್ ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಈಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್, I can't write a code. If I am a Chrome developer, or if I am a developer, then I can't write a code. It will be very difficult to communicate between all these things here. So, this would be a problem. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? Instead, writing code for all these things, we will just have one operating system. And what does the operating system do here? The operating system acts as a the manager inside computer. It is a main manager wherein it will help us do all this communication. Manager ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ, it is like the applications communicate with this operating system. Now, if I want to communicate from my keyboard to monitor, or keyboard to mouse, or mouse to printer, all these things, it is done via the operating system. And here, operating system communicates with applications as well as the hardware devices. I have applications and all those hardware devices that are there, it will be communicated. This is what I have. So whenever it is like whenever someone asks why do we need an operating system, the answer would be simple, because applications can't directly communicate with hardware. The operating system basically simplifies the communication. Direct ಆಗಿ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ವೇರ್ ಇಂದ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಗೆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ನೇ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸನ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈಯಿಂಗ್ ದ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್. ನನಗೆ ಇಫ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್, ಇಫ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ವೇರ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ directly doing the communication on its own, and I need not write a separate code for that. It is like that is the case. Without an operating system, application developers would need to complete hardware knowledge, which would need complete hardware knowledge, which is practically not possible. So the operating system makes computers easy to use. All these things, simple thing, computers easy to use. So this is what the question basically is answering here, which tells how exactly do I need to communicate if I don't have an operating system. So overall thing, if I have an operating system, then communication would be easy, and the overall computer system would be easier to use. So this is the very simple basic understanding why I require an operating system. And going forward, let us, as this is the initial video, basic video, let us understand the general definition of operating system. Now here I can just tell an operating system is the program that acts as an intermediary between user and a computer hardware. What exactly is this term intermediary here? Simple thing, when I tell intermediary, it is a middleman. It is a middleman between your hardware and your applications, or hardware and your user, the user. It is just acting as a middleman. The flow is here, the flow is very simple. User, operating system, and hardware. Now whenever you click, whenever I have an application, all those things, you are basically not directly talking to the processor, rather you are talking to the operating system. As a user, I'm using the application, and via this application I'm talking to the operating system. And here, what does operating system do? Operating system then talks to the processor on our behalf. Here, operating system will talk to the processor on our behalf, and I can tell the one of the other main important, what you call, role of operating system is like it is providing us a user friendly environment. ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿ I need not search for a separate code, ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಬೇಡ. I'll just tell, see, if I want a print, I'll just tell I want a print via the application I'll give, and application will talk to operating system telling, okay, this person needs a print, I'll go forward, I'll talk to the next person. See, just simple thing, just imagine now, what if I had, for this one application or this one communication, I had to write programs which in turn control the hardware. Or I'll just simplify it more. Assume that I don't have operating system, I have to directly deal with hardware. I had to write a code, which is again a problem, and every user can't write it, only the hardware experts could write it. So this is all the problem. Because of all these things, we have an operating system wherein everyone can use it. And as I told, using the application, when user contacts the operating system, it would discuss with processors and in turn communicate with hardware. So if I want a print as a user, I will go to the printing application by using, I'll give control P, What happens in that case? Control P, the instruction operating system will get to know, and in turn operating system will tell the hardware to give the printout with the help of the processor here, which tells, okay, this person is asking for a printout, let us give him the printout. So this is the overall basic understanding of what is an operating system. So going forward, let us understand what are the goals of operating system. Now, talking about goals of operating system, we have simple 4 goals, wherein I have execute programs, easy to use, efficient hardware usage, or resource management. Simple thing, let's go one after the other. When I tell execute programs, see, simple thing, whenever I open a browser, a game, or an any editor, what exactly happens? For executing all these things, I will open an app. If I want to open an app, I want the support of operating system. As I told previously, I would use some application and try to open it, but I don't have direct access. So what I'll do, I'll send the command to operating system, and operating system will in turn deal with processor and hardware and help us open the app. So this is the first goal, executing programs. Main goal of operating system is to help the user execute the programs. And when I tell execute, it might be opening an application, playing in a game, playing a song, whatever it might be. This is the case. Second one, this is the most important one with respect to users. What is it? Make computer easy to use. That's all. As a user, ನನಗೆ if I want to use the computer, ನನಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಈಸಿ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. It should be easy to use. None of the users, it is like they should not struggle performing for any simple task or operation. ನನಗೆ simple thing, if I just want to open a calci, it should be very easy. ನನಗೆ ಈಸಿ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು ಅದು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ. ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಎ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಟಾಸ್ಕ್ ವೇರ್ ನಾನು ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಕೋಡ್ ಬರೆಯೋದು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ನೋ ನೋ ನೋ, ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಮೈ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಕಾಲ್ ದ ಓವರಾಲ್ experience only difficult, and none of the user want that. Talking about third one, we have efficient hardware usage. Now here, simple thing, as a user, we might have multiple application open, and the operating system would decide who gets processor time, who gets memory more, who would access the hardware first, which process, all those things. So efficient usage of each hardware is very much required, very much necessary. So operating system would in turn decide ಯಾರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಯಾರಿಟಿ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, all those things. And the last one is managing the resource, or the resource management. See here, when I talk about resource, we have resources like processor, or it might be memory, or it might be IO devices, input output devices. Or even when I tell IO devices, I can also tell one more thing called as storage devices. Anyhow, this doesn't come under the same IO devices, but again, storage devices. In fact, if you talk about the resources, it is like throughout this operating system course, we will notice one thing, that is, most of the topics we will be discussing, or it will be revolving around resource management only. This is managing the resource with respect to one process or multiple process makes it very important. And along with this, it is not only these things, we also have some other points, like it might be memory management, or the main thing, the few maybe after a couple of videos we'll get CPU scheduling. CPU scheduling is one of the topic. Or we discussed about storage devices, we have storage management, we have file management, or all those things, everything that is coming under resource management, efficient resource management, or operating system would look into it and make sure that nothing wrong is happening. So these are the four goals of operating system that we have. So going forward, why study operating systems? This is, again, we saw what is the need of operating system. Now see, generally what happens, many of you might think or have a question, or somebody might ask you a question telling that, see sir or ma'am, I personally don't want to build an operating system, then what is the use of studying it? See, this is one common misconception that all or many of the students would have. I would never build it, but then why I have to study? So here, one simple thing, we might never build an operating system in our entire career, entire lifetime, but every software that we create will run on top of operating system only. If I have any application software or any software here, if I want to execute this software, then I require the support of operating system. See, I can tell, suppose we become, I become a, what you call, a software engineer, or maybe in the current world scenario, an nice, good AI engineer, a cloud engineer, or any game developer, backend developer. Every application that we build would be eventually interacting with operating system only. This operating system is very much required, and for this reason, I can tell, the better we understand operating system, the better programmer we can become. This is one main thing, because every time I have a software that is being developed, at the end of the day, I want my application or my software to communicate with operating system only. This is the very required case. Again telling, ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, ಸಿ, ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಆಪ್ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಂತೂ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಇನ್ ಮೈ ಕೆರಿಯರ್ ನಾನೊಂದು ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಾನು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಅದು ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ದು ಆಪ್ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಜೊತೆಗೇ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ದಟ್ ಮೈ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಆಪ್ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. That is why operating system is considered as one of the most important subjects in computer science only. Under computer science, this is one of the most important subjects. So this is why, let us understand why exactly we are studying operating system, even if we are not developing it. So here, the next thing that I have here is the, what do you call, the four components of computer system. Four components of computer system. And let us understand the overall, what do you call, the structure of computer system, wherein I have users, then we have the application or system programs, then I have the operating system, and the last one I have in the hierarchy or in this application four component model is the computer hardware. Understanding, going to the flow part here. See, as a user, there might be multiple users who are interacting with the computer, who want to interact with the computer. And as a user, how are we interacting? I am interacting through something called as application programs here. It might be different kind of application program, any application program. Based with the help of application programs, we try to interact with the system. And when I tell system, it is, we are interacting with the operating system. And what will operating system do? Operating system will in turn interact with the computer hardware. Now, talking about some examples of application program, it might be web browsers, or it might be word processors that we have in the system, or it might be database, manage database systems, or see any games that we have, all those things. And talking about the hardware would include something like maybe simple thing, keyboard, mouse, or processor. This is the very important one. Processor is important one. Again, for display I require monitor, or for after my work everything I require the storage devices, all those things. See, all those things are there, but having this hierarchy is very much important. And this hierarchy, if we remember, it would be used throughout the operating system course. So simple flow: user ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಜೊತೆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಇನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ನಮಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು. ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಪ್ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ನಾನು ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ವೇರ್ ಜೊತೆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆಪ್ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ವೇರ್ ಜೊತೆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಗೆಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ವೇರ್, ಅಗೇನ್ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ವೇರ್ನು ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಮೌಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಕೀಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವೆಬ್ ಬ್ರೌಸರ್ ಆರ್ ಏನದು ವರ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸರ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಗೇಮ್ಸ್ ಆಡೋದಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್. So this is the 4 component view that we have. Going forward, let us just understand what does an operating system do. And here, when I talk about operating system, what does it do? I have 2 perspectives. As a user, I would be having 2 perspectives. One is the user perspective, and the other one is the system perspective that we have. See, I can tell simple thing, if somebody might have a doubt, what is this perspective, or why are we, when I talk about operating system, why is this? See, as a user, I have my own views. As a system would be having something else in its mind, and it would be wanting to work as that, like that. So here, from the user's perspective, what exactly do I want? I would be preferring. See, I want it to be convenient to use. And when I tell convenient, I also want it to be easy. It is not only convenient. Yes, convenience is okay. But again, I would prefer it to be more simpler, more easier, maybe having a proper graphical user interface rather than having just a text thing. I would prefer having icons, all those things that we currently have it in our phones and all those things. And along with all those things, yes, I want a better performance. Having a convenience, having easy to use, what if the phone is hanging again and again, or the system crashing again and again? No, I don't want all those things. Having these 2, I want it to be good performance system too. So this is what, as a user, I would be looking. But from the system's perspective, it is completely different. See, what does the system require? Or with respect to the system, what do we require? We want the overall system, it should be efficiently doing the resource utilization, allocation, all those things it should be doing. Utilizing, given the resources, it should be very efficient in utilizing, and fairness should be there. And again, I talk about the same term, resource fairness with respect to resource allocation. Each process to be given with proper resources, equal amount of resources, so that because of these 2, I can tell the system performance is very much better or very good. So this is the thing. When we have all these things, I could tell the operating system is continuously balancing all these requirements. This is what is required. And when I tell the system is following all these things, it would ensure that the computer remains efficient and fair in every time for every process, balancing the performance so that it is easy, convenient, everything. So this is what we want with respect to operating system to do. So finally, with respect to the topics that we saw, the topics that we understood or learned, mainly, why do we need an operating system? What exactly is an operating system? The goals of operating system, or why we should study operating system, all these things we saw. Along with that, we also saw the diagram which told that the four components of a computer system, and finally this particular slide, that is what an operating system actually does. So this is what we have. And again, in the upcoming video, we'll go to the next topics, like what exactly happens, what when I press a power button, or what is a kernel, what is a bootstrap program, all those things. Thank you for watching, people. Thank you so much. uh, if you find this video useful, you can please like, share and subscribe. See you in the next lecture. Thank you.